Welcome to Support Life, a program focusing on current social issues from a life-affirming perspective. I'm Gavin Baulch, and this week our guest is Hana Zreikat. Welcome, Hana.
Thank you.
I'm going to start by reading a quote, and I'd like you to tell me who made it.
I thought you were joking.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Are we ready? Okay. Where music stops being a performance and starts being something where we can and are able to look both inwards and our own feelings and emotions and expressions, and at the same time simultaneously look outward at our interaction and relationship with others. Who said that?
Didn't I write that?
You did indeed.
Okay.
All right, and I thought it was so good because music is playing such a big part in your life.
It is.
It is. So let's wind the clock back. We're going to go back to the Middle East, and we're going back to Jordan. Why are we going there?
Well, I've never actually been there, but my parents were both born in the Middle East.
Yes.
And spent the early parts of their life in Jordan, and migrated here. Dad when he was 6, Mum when she got married. So.
Okay. And in your informative years, you grew up in a small town.
How old? I first grew up in Sydney.
Yes.
Then at the age of 5 moved to a small town called Greendale.
Right.
In the country just outside of Ballarat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there was a little Catholic church there, and you and your dad did what?
We played the music.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So how young were you as singer?
Yeah, we were both singing. Dad would sing, I would do some harmonies. I probably did it between the ages of 9 and 12.
Okay.
Probably.
All right, so there's music in your blood, is there?
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dad played guitar, didn't he?
He did. He does. He does play guitar.
Still plays?
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't have formal music training till he was about 18.
Yes.
But he always wanted to learn the guitar, so he ended up, but his dad said, no, it's not an option, especially as a career, so he didn't. And then he bought his own guitar at 18 and taught himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now, for you, I believe you shed tears once because you couldn't go somewhere. What was that all about?
Yeah, my first piano lesson when I was 5, we couldn't find the teacher's house. And I was so upset because I really wanted to go and I cried. Yep.
So I think there's some passion that certainly lasted till today.
Yeah.
And, okay, so Greendale, wasn't that far from Ballarat, was it?
About half an hour.
Okay, and you spend a bit of time in Ballarat these days?
2 days a week.
Doing?
Teaching music at the Ballarat Centre for Music and the Arts.
And what are they doing at the moment?
At the moment, I run the vocal programs for the Futures in Performance and private piano and singing teacher, and I'm about to music direct for their production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Okay. Now, you seem to fit a lot in your week. So you've got Ballarat on a night or a day a week?
2 nights, Wednesdays and Thursday nights.
Okay, so that means travelling up and back, up and back.
No, I stay with my parents.
You do? Okay, so you get back into that small farming community again.
Not quite farming, but definitely small community. Yeah.
And but what do you do in Melbourne because you're living here?
Well, I conduct a choir in Oakley. More of a vocal ensemble, 7 women, and that's every Monday night. So then I stay with my cousins in East Malvern on Mondays. I don't know why I live where I do because there's so much travel involved, but again, it's kind of that small town feel whilst being convenient, and I've got some independence and also living with some family.
Okay. Federation Square, why does that feature in your life?
Well, it doesn't quite feature, I wouldn't say, but that was the second live performance of one of my compositions outside of university. So that was last year. I had my brass quintet performed by Australian National Academy of Music. They played it at Federation Square during the school holidays.
All right, so perhaps there's some experience and some education here, and that led you to write a piece that was performed in a competition called Music for Life.
Yes.
Would you like to tell me about how young those singers were in your group and how the piece came up?
I think there was 7 and 8, or maybe 8 and 9. They were the cousins of my best friend, so pretty much family, I suppose. That piece I wrote for performance at a choral festival in Montserrat, or at Montserrat in Eltham, and it was for the children's choir of, I can't even remember the school, but it was a primary school. And so they sang it there, and I thought it would be a good piece to enter to this Music for Life competition. So I sent it in to promote, well, the idea behind the piece is that it's for kids to, as they're singing, think about how connected the world is these days, and how really there's no excuse anymore to not have a concept of how what you do here has a direct impact on what happens to someone else's life somewhere else. So it's all connected.
So it's the butterfly effect, cause and effect, that kind of
thing. That
consequences?
Kind of, not just consequences, more compassion, I think. Yes. I was trying to get them to really feel, even in the workshops I did with the kids, I would kind of say, who has an iPad? And they'd all go, me, Who has Facebook? Oh, I don't, but my mum does, So I was trying to get them to really think about how close everything is, yes. But then also the personal connections that we have to people everywhere. So not just think about the butterfly effect, but think about the feelings and the direct emotional consequences that yes. comes from overconsumption here and not having enough somewhere else.
Okay. Now this word's compassion is important as a woman. So how do you apply compassion? How do you apply meeting the needs of young women today, particularly when it comes to perhaps an unexpected pregnancy?
Well, I don't know many young girls my age who haven't had some form of connection with unexpected pregnancy, whether it's a friend or themselves. And what I've learnt through having to deal with that with friends is that, one, these women and girls need support no matter what decision they make, and that it has to be unbiased and they can't be guilted into a decision. And they need to be able to feel safe to communicate their feelings and what's going on for them at the time, because it can be really confusing and lots of emotion involved. Yes. And it's a huge, any decision is life-changing no matter which way you decide to go. And I mean, for young girls at 18 and 19, that's when your life is beginning. Sure. And to have to make that choice then, you need so much support either way.
So Music for Life, played into that because you received an award.
It's a composition award, yeah.
Composition award, okay. So we're not only singing or playing piano, but we are composing.
Yes.
How much time does that occupy?
I should count it. I don't. At the moment, teaching occupies more time and running ensembles and things, but I try to do at least an hour every day, minimum.
All right.
Yep.
Well, thank you for that information, and you've been watching Support Life, and we're going to be back after the break. Welcome back to Support Life. I'm Gavin Baulch, and our guest is Hana Zreikat. And we've moved now to East Timor. So we're travelling around a little bit. Now, what happened about some women in East Timor? What were you involved in?
A few years ago, one of my songs, called Mother, was chosen to be on a CD with all the funds raised from that going to the development of a clinic for women for pregnancies and childbirth. So that's that involvement there.
Great. And what are you doing at the moment? You've got Ballarat, okay, and is this with a young group of people, or is it a broad age range?
Broad age range. My youngest student is 6, and my The oldest probably are in their mid-40s that I teach.
Well, that's young.
Well, I mean, in comparison to...
To me, sitting here, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, now Oakley, what age group are they?
I think they're mostly in their 40s.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I haven't actually asked any of them out of courtesy, I think.
And explain Oakley and some of the
Yeah,
engagements you've got there.
I've been working with these ladies for 3 years now, and it's a choir, so I music direct and conduct for them and do all their arrangements. So as a 22-year-old leading these women that are, I would say, significantly kind of in a different stage of their lives, it's never actually been difficult. Kind of, I used to be a bit scared of working with adults because I'd kind of think, who am I to tell these people what to do? But they really respect my skills and really value what I bring to the ensemble, so there's never been a problem.
Now, with the ensemble, what do they bring to you?
Well, they all love it. They all love what they do, and they're all very good at it. So, and they do it for fun. They don't do it because they want recognition or they want money. They do it because they all love to sing. They're all mainly nurses and carers of some sort, most of them mums. So they do it because they love to sing and they want that singing and singing with people in their lives. So for me to be able to go every week and help that and facilitate it and provide space for improvement and growth, it's really good. I love it.
Now, your breadth of experience says to me that you probably could do well in the commercial world.
Yeah.
Are you avoiding that for a good reason?
Well, I would say I'm not avoiding it. I'm just not actively seeking it, if that makes sense. So, personally, I don't necessarily like what the music industry stands for and some of the culture involved. So, I don't necessarily want to be in that area, but if things lead me there, then I'm not going to really fight them, I suppose. So.
All right. I'd like to bring up an Italian name that means family around a log fire, perhaps warming themselves, singing, communicating, called focolare. Tell me a little bit about this group.
Well, my mother was involved in the use of the focolare in Jordan when she was young, and when she migrated here, she got involved with the focolare in Sydney, just as a way of assimilating and having people here that she had something in common with. And when I was born, my parents were both involved, so I grew up in that culture.
Yes. So was there much music and singing in this little Catholic community?
Well, it wasn't necessarily strictly Catholic. There was people from lots of different faiths involved. But yeah, there was a lot of singing, and yeah, every gathering would have singing involved.
All right. Now, you made some pretty strong choices during your education years.
Yep.
By not complying to the way we normally sit for a set lot of topics.
Yes.
Would you want to talk about that for a minute?
Okay, going through VCE, I chose to not do any maths or science subjects. I did vocational education and training, music, music performance, art, Japanese and English was a must.
So your teachers probably thought you're not going to get the
I had a few
score.
Teachers that strongly advised against doing that. Yeah.
And what happened?
I didn't listen.
Okay, and then what happened?
I did what I wanted.
Yes, I hear that, but what was the outcome? What was the result?
I went to the Melbourne Conservatorium of Music, did my bachelor degree, and now I'm where I'm at.
Good.
So I got what I wanted. I knew from about 16 that that's exactly what was going to happen. So.
But at a very young age, you went, music composition is for me?
No, composition happened also around 16. I did work experience with a conductor, and whilst on work experience I happened to come across a flyer for this composition competition, and a teacher had recently just given me a trial version of a composition software where I could notate, and I decided I'm going to enter this competition. Prize is $500. I want to go to Japan. and if I could get in and get my piece played, and I entered. First piece I'd ever written, and I came second and got the $500. So, yeah.
So, Japan, why? What was the interest?
I loved the language. I loved the sound of the language and the culture, and I loved my teacher too, so that helped.
Now, let's take language and music.
Yep.
There's a kind of relationship here, isn't there?
And sound,
Yes.
obviously, and I would learn Japanese by memorising the rhythm of phrases, how they sounded and kind of how they felt in the mouth, and yeah, that was...
So are you reasonably fluent at Japanese?
I was, not anymore, it's been 3 years, but I did live in Japan for a few months during high school.
So would you like to greet our audience in Japanese, please?
Is it morning or afternoon?
It'll be late evening.
Late evening. Konbanwa. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It sounds like a small musical round that we used to sing in church, Kumbaya.
Oh.
So there's nothing similar here.
No, that's not quite how I would link, but yeah.
All right. The time with your dad is very important.
Yes.
With music.
Yeah.
And how's that relationship going today?
Oh, it's brilliant. Dad is one of my biggest role models. I think he's the way he interacts with people, his outlook on life, business skills. I just really admire him as a person.
All right. Now, we're talking about arts, which is music, but there's another side of the arts to you.
Yep.
What's that?
My drawing? Is
Yes.
that where we're headed with this? I love to draw. During high school, I was quite unhappy for the last couple of years. Not that anyone really knew, but I was restless. I wanted to leave and start doing only music. So art at that time for me was a way to I drew portraits of my friends and just a way to reconnect with what I loved about life through my drawing. Yeah.
Good. Well, life is very important. It's very rich, and there's something about music that goes right to the soul, doesn't it?
There is. I think music is special, uniquely special, because it bypasses the intellect in a lot of cases. If you're listening to it and you're thinking, you don't hear it. But if you are able to open up and listen, it communicates directly with the subconscious, I think, and on a really emotive level. It has that power. So that's what I think is really special.
Well, Hannah, we're going to hear your piece in a few moments. That's all for our conversation with Hannah. But stay tuned, because after the break, we'll be featuring Hannah's piece performed at the Music for Life Song Contest last year.
But now I know I'm not alone. You share my fear, we can be frightened not far away.